Most people believe that controlling blood pressure requires long daily walks, strict diets, and a growing list of medications taken every morning. That idea has been repeated for years, and while parts of it are true, it is far from complete. After more than 2 decades working closely with the human heart, observing how it behaves. Under stress and disease, one thing becomes clear: the traditional approach often misses key opportunities. Blood pressure is not just about what you eat or how far you walk. It is deeply influenced by how your body regulates pressure internally through your blood vessels, your nervous system, and even your hydration status. What's surprising is that there are simple actions, taking only about 10 minutes a day, that can influence these systems directly. These are not complicated routines or expensive solutions. They are practical, accessible, and grounded in research. And for individuals over 60, they can be especially impactful because they address changes that naturally occur with age rather than working around them. By the time someone sees a reading like 140, 150, or higher on a blood pressure monitor, the process behind that number has often been developing silently for years. High blood pressure rarely produces noticeable symptoms in its early stages. There is no alarm bell, no sharp pain, no clear signal telling you something is wrong. Instead, it works quietly, placing continuous strain on your blood vessels. Over time, this constant pressure affects vital organs such as the heart, brain, and kidneys. This is why it is often referred to as a silent condition. The damage builds gradually, and by the time it is detected, the body has already been adapting to higher pressure for a long time. Understanding this helps shift the focus from simply reacting to numbers toward addressing the underlying processes that create them in the first place. One of the challenges in managing blood pressure is how it is typically approached. Many individuals receive a diagnosis and are quickly given medication, along with general advice like reducing salt intake and increasing physical activity. While these recommendations are valid, they often lack depth. What is rarely explained is what is happening inside the blood vessels themselves. Medications can help control numbers, but they do not always address the root causes, such as reduced flexibility in the arteries or an overactive stress response in the nervous system. Without understanding these mechanisms, it becomes difficult for people to take an active role in improving their condition beyond following instructions. This gap in understanding is where simple, targeted daily practices can make a meaningful difference. As the body ages, especially after 60, blood vessels naturally begin to lose some of their flexibility. When arteries are young and healthy, they expand easily as blood flows through them and then return to their original shape. This flexibility helps regulate pressure efficiently. Over time, however, the walls of these vessels can become thicker and less elastic. When that happens, the same amount of blood moving through them creates higher pressure. A helpful way to picture this is by comparing a new, flexible hose to an older, rigid one. The less flexible the hose, the more pressure builds inside when water flows through it. This natural change is one of the key reasons why blood pressure tends to rise with age, even in people who maintain a relatively healthy lifestyle. Understanding how blood vessels function helps explain why general advice alone may not always be enough. Activities like walking and maintaining a balanced diet are important for overall health, but they may not specifically target the stiffness in artery walls. Improving circulation and heart health is beneficial, yet restoring flexibility within the vessels requires a more focused approach. This is where targeted techniques come into play. These methods are designed to directly influence how blood vessels respond to pressure and how the body regulates that pressure moment to moment. By focusing on these mechanisms, it becomes possible to support healthier blood pressure in a more precise and efficient way. Interestingly, two people of the same age with similar lifestyles and diets can have very different blood pressure readings. One of the main reasons for this difference lies in how their blood vessels respond to stress and flow. Some vessels remain more flexible and responsive, while others become stiff and less adaptable. The encouraging part is that this responsiveness is not entirely fixed. It can be influenced through specific types of physical activity that train the blood vessels to expand and contract more effectively. This means that even later in life, the body retains the ability to adapt and improve when given the right kind of stimulus. One type of activity that has gained attention for its effect on blood pressure is isometric exercise. Unlike traditional workouts, these exercises involve holding a position rather than moving through a range of motion. Examples include wall sits and planks. At first glance, they may not seem particularly impactful, but their effects on the body are significant. When muscles contract and hold steady, they temporarily reduce blood flow in that area. Once the contraction is released, blood rushes back in, causing the vessels to expand. Repeating this process helps train the blood vessels to become more flexible over time. Research has shown that isometric exercises can have a meaningful impact on blood pressure levels. In fact, some studies suggest they may be more effective than other forms of exercise in reducing both systolic and diastolic pressure, especially in older adults. The key lies in consistency rather than intensity. Short sessions performed regularly can lead to noticeable improvements over time. This makes them particularly suitable for individuals who may not be able to engage in high-intensity workouts but still want to support their cardiovascular health in a safe and manageable way. A simple routine might include holding a wall sit for a set period, followed by a plank, and then repeating the wall sit. This entire sequence can take just a few minutes but provides a focused stimulus for the muscles and blood vessels. The emphasis should always be on maintaining steady breathing and proper form. Holding the breath can increase pressure temporarily, which is not the goal. Instead, slow and controlled breathing ensures that the exercise remains both effective and safe. While physical activity plays a major role, another important factor in blood pressure regulation is the nervous system. The body operates through two main modes, one that prepares it for action and another that promotes rest and recovery. When the body remains in a constant state of alertness, even at rest, blood pressure can stay elevated. This is common in many older adults, where the system does not fully shift into a relaxed state as often as it should. Breathing is one of the most powerful yet overlooked tools when it comes to regulating blood pressure, especially after the age of 60. Most people think of breathing as automatic, something that happens without effort, but the way you breathe can directly influence how your body manages stress and circulation. Inside your body, there is a system constantly balancing between action and relaxation. When you are stressed, even slightly, your heart rate increases, your blood vessels tighten, and your blood pressure rises. The problem is that many older adults remain in this slightly activated state throughout the day without realizing it. Even while sitting quietly, the body may still be operating as if it needs to stay alert. This is where controlled breathing becomes incredibly valuable. By slowing down your breath and making it more deliberate, you send a signal to your body that it is safe to relax. This activates the calming side of your nervous system, which helps reduce pressure inside the blood vessels. Over time, practicing this regularly can retrain your body to spend more time in a relaxed state rather than a constantly stimulated one. A specific breathing pattern can make this process even more effective. Instead of breathing randomly or shallowly, a structured rhythm allows the body to synchronize internal systems more efficiently. For example, breathing in slowly through the nose and then exhaling at the same pace through the mouth creates a steady, predictable pattern. This rhythm helps coordinate your heart rate with your breathing, a process known as physiological synchronization. When this happens, your body becomes more efficient at regulating blood pressure. The key is consistency and focus. Sitting upright, keeping your posture relaxed, and closing your eyes can help reduce distractions and allow you to fully engage in the process. Over time, this simple practice can lead to noticeable changes in how your body responds to stress. Instead of reacting quickly and intensely, it begins to settle more easily. This shift is especially important for maintaining cardiovascular health, as it reduces the constant strain placed on the heart and blood vessels. Hydration is another critical factor that often does not receive enough attention when discussing blood pressure. The body relies on adequate fluid levels to maintain proper circulation. When you are dehydrated even slightly, your blood can become thicker, making it more difficult to move through the vessels. To compensate, the body may increase pressure, which places additional strain on the cardiovascular system. This effect can be subtle, but over time it contributes to higher readings. After 60, maintaining proper hydration becomes more challenging because the natural sensation of thirst may not be as strong as it once was. This means that you might not feel thirsty even when your body actually needs fluids. Being mindful of hydration, rather than relying solely on thirst, becomes an important habit, ensuring that your body has enough fluid helps support smoother blood flow and reduces unnecessary pressure within the vessels. In addition to how much water you drink, the way you drink it can also influence your body's response. Drinking large amounts quickly can create a mild stress reaction as the body works to process the sudden intake. This can temporarily activate systems that increase heart rate and pressure. On the other hand, drinking slowly and steadily allows the body to absorb the fluid more efficiently and maintain a calmer internal state. Taking small sips over a few minutes creates a more balanced response, supporting both hydration and relaxation. This simple adjustment can enhance the overall effect of your daily routine, especially when combined with breathing exercises. It reinforces the body's shift toward a calmer, more regulated state, which is beneficial for maintaining stable blood pressure levels over time. When you combine targeted exercises, controlled breathing, and mindful hydration, you begin to address blood pressure from multiple angles at once. Each of these elements works on a different system within the body, but together they create a more complete approach. The exercises help improve the flexibility of blood vessels, the breathing, supports nervous system balance, and hydration ensures that blood can flow efficiently. This combined effect is more powerful than focusing on just one area alone. It allows the body to function more harmoniously, reducing strain and improving overall efficiency. For older adults, this approach is particularly valuable because it aligns with how the body changes over time, rather than forcing the body to adapt to intense or unnatural routines. It works with its natural processes to encourage gradual improvement. Consistency plays a crucial role in making these changes effective. Performing these actions occasionally may provide temporary benefits, but lasting improvement comes from regular practice. The body responds best to repeated signals over time. Each session reinforces the previous one, gradually building a new baseline for how your body manages pressure. This does not require large amounts of time or effort. Even short daily sessions can create meaningful change when done consistently. The key is to make these practices part of your routine rather than something you do only when you remember. Over time, they become second nature, and the benefits continue to accumulate without requiring additional effort. Establishing a routine can make consistency much easier to maintain. One effective strategy is to attach these practices to an activity you already do every day. This could be something simple like brushing your teeth, making your morning drink, or sitting down for breakfast. By linking the new habit to an existing one, you reduce the need for motivation or reminders. It becomes an automatic part of your day. This approach works because the brain recognizes the pattern and begins to expect the new behavior as part of the routine. Over time, this reduces resistance and makes it easier to stay consistent without feeling like you are adding extra work to your day. Tracking your progress can also provide motivation and help reinforce the habit. Using a simple calendar or notebook to mark each completed session creates a visual representation of your consistency. Seeing a series of completed days can be encouraging and may help you stay committed. It turns the process into something tangible, allowing you to see your effort over time. This small step can make a big difference in maintaining momentum, especially during the early stages when the habit is still forming. It also provides a sense of accomplishment, which can further motivate you to continue. It is important to approach these practices with realistic expectations. While they can provide meaningful benefits, they are not an instant solution. Changes in blood pressure and overall cardiovascular health take time. These methods are best viewed as a long-term investment in your health rather than a quick fix. They can complement medical treatment and support overall well-being, but they should not replace professional guidance when it is needed. For individuals with more serious conditions, working alongside a healthcare provider ensures that these practices are used safely and effectively as part of a broader plan. In the end, managing blood pressure is about more than numbers. It is about understanding how your body works and supporting it in a consistent and thoughtful way. Small daily actions, when performed regularly, can create lasting improvements. By focusing on movement, breathing, and hydration, you give your body the tools it needs to function more efficiently. This approach supports not only cardiovascular health but also overall quality of life. It allows you to remain active, independent, and confident in your daily activities. With patience and consistency, these simple practices can become a powerful part of maintaining health as you age.